Hi guys, welcome back to my class. I'm your Korean teacher, Emma from SEEMILE. What did you learn in the previous class? Some expressions of greeting like 안녕하세요, 저는 아람이에요. 만나서 반가워요. 또 만나요. We learned that 이에요, 예요 can be attached to a noun to show someone or something's identity, and that the opposite expression for that is 이가 아니에요. We also learned about the postpositional particle or topic marking particle 은는, which clarifies that the noun right after it is the topic of the sentence. Today, we're going to Aram's house, but before that, let's learn some new vocabulary related to the topic of a house. 집, 방, 주방, 거실, 욕실, 냉장고, 식탁, 소파, 탁자, 책장, 책, 주전자, 꽃병, 의자, 화분, 텔레비전, 컵, 시계, 핸드폰, 컴퓨터. Now let's watch the video and see what Adam's house is like.
여기는 우리 집이에요. 여기는 내 방이에요. 저기는 주방이에요. 저기는 거실이에요. 거기는 욕실이에요.
Do you remember how to say I'm Adam? Yes, 저는 아람이에요. Now the same sentence structure is used again to introduce her house. Here, 여기, 저기, 거기 are used to indicate approximate location. 여기 is used to indicate a location close to the speaker, 저기, a location far away from both the speaker and the listener, and 거기, a location close to the listener but far from the speaker. Here we can learn that Aram's house and room are close in proximity to both Aram and Hitomi. That's why she says 여기는 우리 집이에요. 여기는 내 방이에요. Here the word 내 means my. Do you remember what is I in Korean? Yes, 나 or 저. But for the possessive pronoun my, we say 내 in Korean. The honorific form of that is 제, so you also can say 여기는 제 방이에요. One more thing. You remember what 우리 means, right? Yes, it means we. Koreans generally say 우리 엄마, 우리 집 rather than 내 엄마, 내 집 unless they need to specifically emphasize who its possessor is. Likewise, 우리 can be used when the speaker wants to indicate an intimate relationship with someone or something mentioned after 우리. For this reason, you may notice that when speaking English, some Koreans mistakenly say, this is our mom or this is our family, even when they are actually referring to their own mom or family. Now, let's go to the other rooms in Adam's house. Now, the kitchen and the living room are specified as being far from both Adam and Hitomi. That's why Adam says, 저기는 주방이에요. 저기는 거실이에요. The bathroom is far away from Adam but close to Hitomi, so Adam says 거기는 욕실이에요. 욕실 literally means the room where there is a bathtub, so you don't normally say 욕실 to indicate the restroom in a public area. If you want to refer to the restroom regardless of its location or the presence of a bathtub inside, you can just say 화장실. So it is correct as well to say 거기는 화장실이에요. Now repeat after me out loud. 여기는 우리 집이에요. 여기는 내 방이에요. 저기는 주방이에요. 저기는 거실이에요. 거기는 욕실이에요. Now let's watch and see what furniture there is inside the kitchen and living room.
이것은 냉장고예요. 이것은 식탁이에요. 저것은 소파예요. 저것은 탁자예요. 그것은 책장이에요.
As you can guess, 이것, 저것, and 그것 are used to refer to an object. The fridge and dining table are physically close to Aram, so she uses the word 이것 while pointing at something that is close to her and says 이것은 냉장고예요. 이것은 식탁이에요. The sofa and the table are far from both Aram and Hitomi, so 저것 is used, the word to point out something that is physically far away from both the speaker and listener. 저것은 소파예요. 저것은 탁자예요. The bookcase is far from Aram but close to Hitomi, so 그것 is used, a word to point out something that is far from the speaker but close to the listener. 그것은 책장이에요. Now repeat after me out loud. 이것은 냉장고예요. 이것은 식탁이에요. 저것은 소파예요. 저것은 탁자예요. 그것은 책장이에요. Now, what else is there in Adam's house? Let's keep watching the video.
여기에 주전자가 있어요. 저기에 꽃병이 있어요. 저기에 의자가 있어요. 거기에 화분이 있어요. 거기에 텔레비전이 있어요.
Here, 있어요 is the conjugated form of 있다, which means to be in existence. So, to express the existence of something, whether people or objects, you can use this word. 이가 있어요 is the respectful but not necessarily formal way of using this form. As you can recall, when the noun before 이가 있어요 ends in a consonant, attach 이, and when it ends in a vowel, add 가 after it. If you feel confused about which one to use, let me give you a tip. Always keep in mind that language usually changes in a way that's easier for the speaker to pronounce and use. For example, if you add 가 after 꽃병, which ends in a consonant, like 꽃병가, you need to pronounce more consonants than when you say 꽃병이, which may be a little bit more tiring. You might think that's quite a subtle difference, but suppose you need to say a long paragraph. You'll feel way more tired after that. So please keep in mind that when you forget which one to choose, just select the one that makes it easier to pronounce. That's my tip. So let's get back to the usage of 있다. How would you say there is a kettle? 주전자 ends in a vowel, so 가 있어요 is added. 주전자가 있어요. There is a vase. 꽃병 ends in a consonant, so 꽃병이 있어요. There is a chair. chair 의자 ends in a vowel, so 의자가 있어요. There is a flower pot. The flower pot 화분 ends in a consonant, so 화분이 있어요. How about there is a television? 텔레비전이 있어요. What if you need to use this word in a formal situation? Say, 이가 있습니다, such as 여기에 주전자가 있습니다, or 저기에 꽃병이 있습니다. How about when speaking to your close friend? Just omit 요 from 이가 있어요, like 여기에 의자가 있어, 거기에 텔레비전이 있어. Now repeat after me. 여기에 주전자가 있어요. 저기에 꽃병이 있어요. 저기에 의자가 있어요. 거기에 화분이 있어요. 거기에 텔레비전이 있어요. Then what if you want to say that something doesn't exist? Let's watch the video and notice how Adam expressed that idea.
여기에 컵이 없어요. 여기에 책이 없어요. 저기에 시계가 없어요. 거기에 핸드폰이 없어요. 거기에 컴퓨터가 없어요.
The dictionary form of 없어요 is 없다. It is the antonym of 있다 and used to refer to the absence of people or objects. To express respect, please conjugate it as 이가 없어요. So let's practice. How would you say there isn't a cup? Cup ends in a consonant, so 컵이 없어요. There isn't a book. 책이 없어요. There isn't a clock. 시계 ends in a vowel, so 시계가 없어요. There isn't a cell phone. 핸드폰이 없어요. How about there isn't a computer? 컴퓨터가 없어요. Next, can you guess how to say when speaking to your close friend? Yes, again, just remove 요 from that, as in 여기에 컵이 없어. 저기에 시계가 없어. But to speak formally, use 이가 없습니다. As in 여기에 책이 없습니다. 거기에 핸드폰이 없습니다. Now repeat after me. 여기에 컵이 없어요. 여기에 책이 없어요. 저기에 시계가 없어요. 거기에 핸드폰이 없어요. 거기에 컴퓨터가 없어요. In the sentences we've examined just now, you may have noticed the new postpositional particle, 에. And at this point, you may wonder what 에 means. While watching the following video, please guess what role 에 plays in the sentences.
주방에 냉장고가 있어요. 주방에 화분이 없어요. 식탁에 접시가 없어요. 거실에 탁자가 있어요. 탁자에 책이 있어요.
Did you notice what these sentences have in common? Yes, they are all talking about the presence of something in a certain location. So, 에 here is a particle indicating that the preceding noun is referring to the location of an object or a person. So, when Korean people hear 주방에, they already know that the speaker is going to make a comment about something in the kitchen. As for this particle 에, you don't need to worry about whether or not the preceding noun ends with a vowel or a consonant. Just add 에. So, how would you say there is a fridge? 냉장고가 있어요. Then how about there is a fridge in the kitchen? 주방에 냉장고가 있어요. There isn't a flower pot. 화분이 없어요. There isn't a flower pot in the kitchen. 주방에 화분이 없어요. There isn't a plate. 접시가 없어요. There isn't a plate on the dining table. 식탁에 접시가 없어요. There is a table. 탁자가 있어요. There is a table in the living room. 거실에 탁자가 있어요. There is a book. 책이 있어요. There is a book on the table. 탁자에 책이 있어요. Can you recall some features of postpositional particles like 에, 는, etc.? Yes, they mark the grammatical relationship between the word and the other words in the sentence, or help define the word's meaning, and thus it is usually okay to switch the position of components in a sentence. So, it's okay to say 냉장고가 주방에 있어요. 화분이 주방에 없어요. 접시가 식탁에 없어요. 탁자가 거실에 있어요. 책이 탁자에 있어요. This is because 에 shows that the preceding noun indicates the location where something is, and 이가 indicates that the preceding noun is the subject of the sentence, as we are going to learn in detail in the next class. A switch in the word order might bring subtle differences in nuance depending on the context, but generally speaking, it doesn't change the overall meaning of the sentence. Some may also wonder, what about something like this? 냉장고가 있어요, 주방에. Even so, every Korean would be able to understand your meaning that there is a fridge in the kitchen. That type of sentence is found in literary works like poems or are used to emphasize certain facts in a sentence. But typically speaking, the grammatically correct Korean sentence is one that ends with a predicate. So in daily conversation, you would usually finish the sentence with a predicate like 냉장고가 주방에 있어요. 주방에 냉장고가 있어. 주방에 냉장고가 있습니다. Now repeat after me. 주방에 냉장고가 있어요. 주방에 화분이 없어요. 식탁에 접시가 없어요. 거실에 탁자가 있어요. 탁자에 책이 있어요. Great job! Now, by solving the questions on page 44, let's review what we learned today. Number 1. Choose the right picture. Let's read the sentence out loud. 여기는 우리 집이에요. Here, someone is introducing her house which is close in proximity to her. So, number 4 describes the sentence properly. Pause and read the next sentence out loud. Good job! 주방에 냉장고가 있어요. There is a fridge in the kitchen, so the right picture would be number 2. Now question number 2. Complete the sentence, choose from the list. Number 1. 탁자 is an object, not a location. So only 저것 out of the list of choices would be the correct one. 저것은 탁자예요. That is a table. Next, 저기에. 에 is the particle for showing the location of something. So 있어요 should be followed by 시계가. 저기에 시계가 있어요. There is a clock over there. Number 3. 거실 is the place and 탁자가 있어요 means there is a table. So the particle 에 would be best suited here. 거실에 탁자가 있어요. There is a table in the living room. Next, 내 방 is a type of location. So 여기 out of the words in the list can be used. 여기는 내 방이에요. Here is my room. Next, 주방 is a place and 화분이 없어요 indicates the absence of a flower pot. So again, the particle 에 should be used. So 주방에 화분이 없어요. There is no flower pot in the kitchen. The next question is for reviewing what you learned in the last class. 이것, this object, 식탁, a table. So we can assume that the speaker wants to say that this object is a 식탁. Simply put, this is a table. What Korean word comes to your mind that shows something's identity? Yes, 이다. So let's use 이예요 from the list. 이것은 식탁이에요. This is a table. Number 7. 소파 is an object. So you should say 저것은 소파예요. That is a sofa. Number 8. 주방 is a type of space. So 여기 is proper to be used. 여기는 주방이에요. This is the kitchen. Now let's review some of the vocabulary you've come across so far. Look at the picture and write down what it is. 시계, 책장, 집, 요리사, 핸드폰, 의자, 방, 기자. Now let's complete the sentences using the suggested words. 저는 선생님이에요. 조는 중국인이에요. 이것은 식탁이에요. 그것은 책장이에요. 여기에 컵이 있어요. Great job! Now I'm going to introduce my living room to you. Please imagine what it looks like. 여기는 거실이에요. 이것은 소파예요. 저것은 탁자예요. 거기에 의자가 있어요. 거실에 텔레비전이 없어요. Now it's your turn. Please pause the video for a moment, look around you, and introduce your room to me in Korean. Excellent! Up to this point, you've learned that words used as predicates can be conjugated differently based on the social status of or your relationship with the listener. During the next class, while we will learn how to talk about food, we are going to further explore some of the grammatical rules for that conjugation. Then, see you next class. Bye!